We came here expecting incredible landscapes and bucket list experiences. What we didn't expect were the moments in between, the people, the culture, and the places that completely surprised us. From animal encounters and stunning sunrises, to cultural shows and towering temples, this trip felt like stepping into another world. And by the end, we honestly didn't want to leave. This is Indonesia. Hey everyone, and welcome back. If you're new here, we're Rachel and Eve, and we've been traveling full-time since November 2025. And on this channel, we share our adventures, experiences, and the lessons we've learned along the way. Today, we're taking you through our adventures in Indonesia, from the busy streets of Jakarta and the incredible Komodo Islands, to the diverse landscapes of Bali and the cultural heart of Yogyakarta. Along the way, we had unforgettable adventures above and below the water. We tried new foods and had more animal encounters than we ever expected. We have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Okay, it's a late one, but we made it. We're finally here in country number 9, Indonesia.
Yep, new country, new adventures. Let's go.
Given our late arrival, we grabbed our bags and headed straight to the hotel. We stayed at Virtu Harmony Jakarta, which was central, comfortable, and the perfect place to reset after a travel day.
All right, so it's our first day in Jakarta. We actually only have one day here before we head to our next destination, which is Komodo.
So we're gonna make the most of our day here, go explore a park and see some sights. We walked to the National Monument, Monas, right in the heart of the city. The surrounding park is massive, and the monument itself stands over 400 feet tall, built as a symbol of Indonesia's independence. From there, we visited Istiqlal Mosque, Indonesia's largest mosque and one of the most significant religious landmarks in the country.
So I walked in thinking I was just gonna take a couple of videos and check it out. And instead, I got hooked up with this tour group with a tour guide. So let's go actually check out this mosque and get a full history.
Built in 1961, its central dome stretches 45 meters in diameter, with large open prayer halls and white marble throughout. The main prayer hall can accommodate over 100,000 worshippers. Its scale alone is impressive, but what stood out even more was its meaning, representing unity and independence after colonial rule. And right across the street sits the Jakarta Cathedral, symbolizing something rare and powerful: religious harmony, side by side in the heart of the capital.
We got our train pass, which was really easy to get, and it looks like the subway system is fairly easy to navigate. So we're gonna head to Jakarta Kota, which is the stop that takes us right in between the Old Town and Old Chinatown. Yeah, we feel empowered being able to navigate public transportation in a different country.
Yes, so far it's been pretty similar. We'll confirm that when we actually make it to the next station. We then made our way to Old Town Jakarta, centered around Fathuhillah Square. It's a mix of colonial history and modern street life, and it's full of energy, performers, and local culture. We stopped at Cafe Pativia, one of the most iconic historic buildings in the area, and we couldn't resist a lunch stop. We were so excited about the menu because there were so many things that reminded us of Malaysia. So we've got satay, but it's goat. We have rendang, beef, and then Eve can never resist a good duck. So everything smells delicious. I cannot wait to just dive on it. And just like that, our quick layover in Jakarta was done, and we were boarding a flight to Labuan Bajo, our stepping stone to the Komodo Islands. We arrived after a short flight and had already pre-arranged transportation through our hotel, offering us a seamless transition. We checked into the Mayruora Komodo Labuan Bajo. It was an excellent choice for its location, relaxing atmosphere, and the views. And after settling in, we prepared our things for our 3-day, 2-night Komodo luxury cruise. This experience had everything: dramatic landscapes, pink sand beaches, epic sunsets, and some of the most unforgettable wildlife encounters we've ever had. To see our full adventure, be sure to check out our Komodo luxury cruise video for all the details. After an incredible few days and relaxing time in Labuan Bajo, we headed to arguably Indonesia's most well-known travel destination, Bali. We opted to stay in Ubud as our introduction to Bali, as it's often considered the cultural heart of Bali. And unlike Bali's beach destinations, Ubud sits inland, surrounded by jungle, river valleys, and rice terraces. And our first day was pure reset mode in our jungle villa.
All right, so we just made it to Ubud. It was about an hour and 45 minutes from Dapensar Airport to get here. Not too bad. Traffic was, okay.
We just checked into our villa, and you guys have to check this out. This place is incredible. From the outdoor space with the pool, outdoor patio chairs, literally in the jungle, feels super secluded, to the indoor villa with an attached kitchen and an outdoor bathroom that is unbelievable. The next morning, we were ready to explore. We wandered through Kajang rice fields, a quiet path just behind town where you can lose yourself between green fields, small cafes, and winding walkways. At one point, we even had a dog join us for part of the journey, and no complaints there. Next up was the popular Champuan Ridge Walk, a gentle jungle ridge trail that gives you sweeping views and a completely different side of Ubud. And after a morning of walking, we went back to our villa for some relaxation and pool time. The next morning, we woke up early and headed to Tirta Empul Temple to beat the crowds, and it was absolutely worth it. While online it says the temple opens at 8 a.m., we're actually told it opens closer to 7 a.m. And when we arrived, the temple was almost empty, quiet, serene, peaceful. Tirtha Temple is a Hindu temple known for Malukat. It's a purification ritual where people cleanse themselves in holy spring water under a series of fountains. It's a deeply spiritual ritual in which you wear a specific outfit, make an offering, enter 3 long rectangular pools, and complete a cleansing ritual beneath nearly 24 fountains. This temple is unique in that they invite visitors to also take part in the tradition, and it was such a personal experience. I left feeling like I had taken part in something bigger than myself. And after completing the ritual, we wandered the temple grounds, taking it all in. If you plan to add this to your itinerary, be sure to bring money for the clothing rental, a bathing suit for the cleansing ritual, and a change of clothes. And on our final day, we explored Ubud Palace and the Monkey Forest. Centrally located, the palace was the formal royal residence and is still partly occupied today. There are several courtyards showcasing traditional Balinese carvings, shrines, and pavilions. And because we were told so many times we must visit the Monkey Forest, we made our way to the rather large complex that actually is both a nature preserve and a spiritual temple area. Tickets can be purchased at the front, and just a few short steps away, the scenery completely changes. Green, lush, spiritual. A great place to slow down, enjoy nature, take photos, watch adorable monkeys. We've really enjoyed our time in Ubud. From our own villa to the local activities and wandering around downtown. But the food deserves its own recognition. So we chose this place randomly for dinner. The pictures looked really good. But seriously, every single dish that we ordered has been incredible. We got a duck appetizer, delicious. Eve got practically a whole duck that is some of the best I've ever tasted. And I got a chicken noodle dish that is out of this world. So will we come back? I don't know, but I'm really going to enjoy this meal. We found so many good restaurants and enjoyed such a variety of food. After a few relaxing days in Ubud, we made our way to Seminyak for a different pace. Beach clubs, ocean views, and a bit more energy. We stayed at the Krosh Bali Seminyak, which was a brilliant hotel with great value. The rooms were spacious, and the rooftop pool was unbelievable. The breakfast included with our room was a bonus treat, with both a buffet option and a menu we could select from for fresh-made items. Okay, so we are enjoying an afternoon in Bali. Beach clubs are super popular. We found a pretty good one, Alila, and we are just sitting here in beachfront seats, relaxing. From the moment we arrived, we knew this place was going to be great. It boasts several pools and beachfront access. And we had the best seats in the house and enjoyed lounging, some cocktails, and food. We relaxed, had a stunning sunset, and enjoyed talking to folks in a chill but upbeat environment. And the beach club vibe totally got us. We enjoyed Alila so much, we decided we had to try another. And Bali's OG beach club, Kudeta, felt like a good choice. Comparatively smaller and more intimate, the service was impeccable, and the views were equally wonderful. So we enjoyed a full day, soaking in another Bali sunset in style. And, knowing us by now, we had to dive in Bali. So we arranged a full day, 3-dive experience with zero gravity diving to Nusa Penida. We were a small group, so the boat felt spacious and comfortable. And the day started strong at Manta Point. Within minutes of being in the water, we saw mantas, and they came right toward us, swimming alongside us, making another magical manta experience. Overall, the coral, marine life, and visibility throughout all the dives made for an unforgettable day. A memorable moment for me was that my favorite fish, the Moorish idol, were actually much more playful than what I'm used to. They weren't shy, and they stuck around even when I approached to observe them. It was a great day of diving, with excellent guides and professional service start to finish. We've included a link in the description in case you want to check them out. And after a relaxing week enjoying Bali, we headed to Java's cultural heart of Yogyakarta. It was a short flight and about an hour ride into the city. After settling into our hotel, we opted for a nearby dinner option that seemed to be a top recommendation. Alright, so it is our first night in Yogyakarta, and we found this super cool traditional Javanese restaurant called House of Remington. We felt reassured when we got here because it was very popular. There was actually a little bit of a wait. So we ordered a ton of stuff that the staff recommended to us. We'll see. Honestly, 50-50 on what we ordered. I have no idea what some of it is. Originally, when it was created in 2008, it was designed around herbal tea, but it's since expanded, and so now it's kind of like a hub or a culturally recognized restaurant for Javanese food, traditional local food. So we're gonna see what that's like tonight. Designed after the television character played by the owner, this restaurant is known for its local Javanese cuisine and decor. And the food, again, was just incredible. The following day, we headed out to explore. We started with a short ride to Tamansari Water Castle, a structure created in 1765 by the Sultan of Yogyakarta at the time. The name, translated to perfume garden, spans 12,000 acres. The grounds include various water gardens, pools, artificial lakes, and a series of interconnected underground tunnels. And while it's a much smaller space today, in part due to a history of earthquakes, it was a great local spot to explore. And from there, we took a tuk-tuk to Malioboro Street.
So I think this is our newest and most favorite form of transportation. This tuk-tuk here is like incredible because you're like right up front, so you get all the fresh air and you get a great view of where you're going.
Yeah, front and center, no obstructions, you see everything. I'm skeptical, but this is actually very good. Okay, so hi guys.
Hi.
Can you see? Famous. So famous because
beautiful.
I've never in my life seen anything like this. There was a giant group of women, not that group, a whole different group. I took about 50 photos. Everyone wanted a photo with me. Eve didn't care. Me had to have a photo. Malioboro is overflowing with vendors, shops, cafes, and local culture. Eve even made friends with some local chess players. And after exploring, we took it easy for the rest of the day, as the following morning was the whole reason we came to visit Yogyakarta.
All right, good morning. So we are on our way out super early this morning to go check out Borobudur.
Yeah, we're actually very excited. It's the largest and most well-known Buddhist temple in the world.
Yeah, and the reason we're leaving early is because watching the sunrise at this temple is supposedly one of the most important and iconic things you can do while you're in Yogyakarta, which is really the reason why we came here. And our tour guide should be here shortly. It's 3 a.m. right now, so it's pretty early, but we got coffee.
Visibly sleepy, it was admittedly an early start. We met our driver at 3 a.m., and we got a quick snooze on the hour drive to Borobudur Temple. We chose the sunrise tour for its high recommendation, but it's actually an exclusive experience because it limits the amount of visitors, and the temple doesn't officially open to the public until later in the morning. Shortly after arriving, we were given upanat sandals. They are pandan leaf sponge slippers that all visitors must wear, as they're designed to protect the integrity of the structure. Okay, so it is about 4:10. We've arrived, and we got wristbands, we have flashlights, and we have shoes. So we have about 20 minutes before we can start climbing. And part of this VIP experience is that you're guided through the temple in small groups. We were given a brief at the beginning, provided flashlights, and then made the short walk to the temple. In darkness, we made our way up the steps of arguably one of the world's most famous Buddhist temples. And once we arrived at the top, our tour guide allowed us space to really enjoy the sunrise on our own. Built in the 19th century, Borobudur is one of the largest Buddhist temples in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It was pretty surreal, sitting there, perched on such a profound piece of history. And before we knew it, the sun started to light the sky. It was then that you started to understand the magnitude of Borobudur. Built in 3 tiers, the base is 5 concentric square terraces, on which is a cone of 3 circular platforms, and at its peak is a large stupa. It covers 2,500 square meters, has over 72 open-work stupas, each housing a statue of Buddha, and over 500 Buddha statues. And we can't say enough how much the tour was an integral part of our experience, because we learned about the meaning behind so many of these intricate details, like the sacred ritual of walking around the temple, Pradakshina, which is done in a clockwise manner meant to symbolize the journey from darkness to enlightenment.
So the tour just ended, and as you can see, we are the last ones remaining. There is literally no one here. It was a very small tour group, and they have like limited hours where they allow the private tours to come in, and then as you can see behind us, they shut everything down before they allow everyone else to come in later around like 9 o'clock.
It's basically like a VIP, like a small experience. So you pay a little extra to have fewer people, less crowds.
And watch the sunrise.
Yeah, we've watched sunrise at a few places. And this was probably the one where I didn't feel like I was fighting for space or feel like overcrowded.
And after the tour, they even had breakfast waiting for us. Overall, this was an excellent experience. From learning about the temple to walking the grounds of this incredible structure, we were thankful for the small group and the tour. After an afternoon break, which is code for a nap, we were ready for continued exploration. We headed to Yogyakarta's other famous temple, much closer to the city center, Prambanan. All right, so we've had an eventful day. We are now at Prambanan Temple for a sunset tour.
This is also a very well-known Hindu temple that's like one of the biggest temples you can do while you're out here in Yogyakarta. So we decided to do that in the evening.
It's a little bit cooler. It's actually really nice. It's been compared to Angkor Wat, so we're very excited to see it up close. And afterward, we're gonna try and go to a cultural show. We've been told that it's only certain days, so we're gonna try and see if we can do that as well.
But hopefully we can get tickets, because when we looked online, it looked like it was completely booked, but the front desk said to go to the ticket office and maybe we'll be able to get some tickets. So we'll see.
Let's go check it out. Prambanan Temple is a 9th century Hindu temple complex dedicated to the Trimotori, meaning the Holy Trinity of Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. It is a popular place to explore, and understandably so. The surrounding grounds feel open and green, and then you see them. Prambanan's temples rising tall from the ground, with sharply pointed spires stretching all the way to the sky. They're stark, dramatic, and instill a sense of awe. And as you approach more closely, the intricacy and the craftsmanship in the details are just abundantly clear. After we finished exploring, we headed with hungry stomachs and hopeful hearts to see if we could get tickets to the Ramayana Ballet.
Okay, so we made it. We were able to buy tickets for the ballet. There was plenty of seats available, but online for some reason it wouldn't allow us to buy them. Not sure why, but good news is we got them.
Unfortunately, the not so good news, but everything works out for a reason. The restaurant that was directly next to the ballet, which we were planning on eating at, and we were starving, was fully booked. However, as I said, things work out for a reason. We found this awesome restaurant, like
10 minutes away?
Yeah, 10 minutes away. Fantastic food, great service,
Yep.
great views.
Yeah, but the show starts at 7:30, so we gotta go. Got front row seats. It's gonna be a great night.
The ballet is the story of Ramayana, which shares the tale of Prince Rama, his wife Sita, and the challenges they must face to find their way back to one another. The play was a cultural immersion at its best, reflecting the deeply rooted Javanese culture in the music, the instruments, the costumes, and the dance. It was tragic, intense, and heroic. And the show even employed a sense of humor in the tale, with the golden deer being a memorable character for both of us. Simply put, it was impressive, and truly an experience not to be missed. Yogyakarta, while well known, seems to be absent from many Indonesian itineraries, but it really impressed us with its food, the history, and the opportunities to celebrate Javanese culture. Now, something that happened across Indonesia that absolutely stunned us both. Everywhere we went, people would stop and ask to take a photo with me. This whole experience confused me at first, but I came to learn from a local. It is common to ask for photos with a bule. A bule is a foreigner, though it seems to often reflect someone who reflects a Western appearance. And what at first came as uncomfortable later felt endearing. Interactions with warm, genuine people. Indonesia as a whole just captured our hearts. It has so much history, culture, incredible food, and an unending opportunity for adventure. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video and that it helps you plan your own Indonesian adventures. As always, let us know what you think in the comments. Check out our blog at riworldtravel.com for more travel inspiration, and subscribe if you want to follow along on our journey. We'll see you next time.
We got a lot of stuff to explore today, just to see how much. Wow.
We're gonna do this one over.
Okay. All right, one more time.
You slide. You don't go out.
Defeated by the door.
I'm like, oh, I want to show him outside, and I can't. I'm gonna need help.
You need it. Gotta be smarter.
Just for the record, he can't get it either. We're gonna have to phone a professional. Oh, you just had to use more strength. Okay.
All right, guys, this was a late one, but we made it to country number 9, Indonesia.
Sorry. Okay.
I was supposed to say something else.
It's
I'm
late.
tired.
It's very late. We're about to jump off the boat. 3, 2, 1. Rachel with her umbrella on the runway. Big no-no.
What can I say? They give me an umbrella. I'm gonna take it.
That's why she'll never be as tan as me.
Everyone wanted a photo with me. Eve didn't care. Me had to have a photo.
I never get any love.
No love. No love for
me.
him.
Say cheese. Okay. You're welcome. Bye. Rachel just keeps getting us into trouble. We can't go anywhere. Hello.
You know what? He's kind of popular too. It's not just me. He's getting some attention.